The new cards are a little tough. Didn't shoot me, bro. What happened? Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing a Orzhov combo deck, Foundations. This is day one. It'll be day two when this comes out, but day one for me, and this is the deck list I decided to play right away. Trying to combo with the Bloodthirsty Conqueror with a lot of effects that can do it. This kind of combo has been around for a while. A lot of Commander players will know it, especially if you've ever seen Exquisite Blood and Veto. Mamma mia, get those guys out of your Commander pod. They just get them out, dude. They don't need to be there. But other than that, Bloodthirsty Conqueror says, whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. This infinitely combos with a couple of effects we have in here, like Enduring Tenacity, a card that we got from Dustborn that kind of dies and comes back, so that's very good for us. We can keep it like a permanent effect on here twice. And it conveniently enough comes down right before Bloodthirsty Conqueror does. But we also have a new Vampire. This is a reprint. But whenever you gain life, each opponent loses one life. So if you're a little confused on how it combos, let's say we have a case of the Uneaten Feast, a card that has been in standard for quite a little bit now, not like too long, but it's been in standard for a while. Whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, we gain one life. So this scenario has a case in play and a Blight-Priest on the battlefield, okay? We, on turn 5, cast a Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Our opponent's tapped out. Bloodthirsty Conqueror enters the battlefield. Case will trigger, gaining us one life. Very simple, easy enough, right? This says whenever we gain life, each opponent loses one life. A super drain gain, very, very easy. Then we have the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. It says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So what will happen is the our Marauding Blight-Priest will take a life gain and make our opponent lose one. Our opponent will now lose one, and then we will gain one. And then Blight-Priest says, oh, I see Bloodthirsty, you gained a life. I'm going to make them lose a life again. And then Bloodthirsty Conqueror says, oh, you made him lose another life? I'll gain another life. And then it just repeatedly combos over and over and over again. So any effect that says whenever you gain life and each opponent loses a life, as long as it doesn't say this only triggers once a turn, some things do that because it'll be like more damage than just one. Any effect that says that is a combo with Bloodthirsty Conqueror at the end of the day. So a card like Enduring Tenacity, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Now this targets, so it's a little bit sketchier, because if they have hexproof, for example, we cannot do it because we can't make them lose life because it has to be able to target. So here, our opponents just lose the life. But this also combos with this. And the cool thing about Bloodthirsty Conqueror, it also combos if it makes contact with your opponent. Because what it says is, whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. If this hits them for 5, they lose 5. And we gain the 5 life, which will then trigger these abilities. So it is a very easy way, if we have one of these in play and make contact with the Bloodthirsty Conqueror, we can win the game. Or any other way that we make our opponent lose life, we can do it almost immediately. Cool cards in the deck. Outside of that, we have Authority of the Consuls, which is a reprint. This is for the aggro matchups. Very simple, very easy. A 1-mana enchantment. Creatures your opponent control enter tapped. Whenever a creature an opponent controls enters, we gain 1 life. We can win off this, obviously, on our opponent's turn. Another one that we've seen before, Case of the Uneaten Feast. We know what that does. Cut down, we should know what that does. Lifecreed Duo is just another Uneaten Feast. Whenever a creature enters, we gain 1 life. Very cool. Flying Bird. We have Anoints for exile. I talk about how maybe we should replace this in the outro. And then we have a new card that I wanted to try out. One of the things you'll notice in this deck is we're trying a lot of new cards, even though they might not necessarily be optimal now. We want to try them just because we want to give them their flowers. And I much rather spend my rares to try this than you spend your rares if you're kind of a budget player. I'm trying to do this for a living. I'm not entirely there yet, obviously, but I'll spend my rares so you don't have to. This card, I will say right away, not entirely made for this deck. It was a cool idea. I think there's better cards. I talk about it a bit more in the outro, so I will say that right away. Very cool card. I just don't think for this deck is necessarily applicable, but it was in the entire time, so it's obviously in the deck list. Cards I was excited about is a Crystal Barricade. This card is super sick. It's an 0/4 defender. We have hexproof. It's an artifact creature, so go for the throat cannot remove this. That is always important whenever that matters. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. So for example, a Screaming Nemesis, this is kind of the counter for that card. we have hexproof, so if they deal damage to it, they can't target us to make us lose life and then never be able to gain life again, as we obviously have a lot of things that kind of fit in the way. The other thing with the Crystal Barricade is the fact that our creatures can no longer just be damaged by like a lightning strike, for example. So when we play this vulnerable 3/2, if they have a shock of some kind, it cannot kill us out of the way because Crystal Barricade would not allow that to happen. So it's very cool. A very good card, and I think we'll see a lot of this card in the future, especially in a lot of Orzhov builds. So this card I'm pretty high on right now. I don't know if I will be in the future, but as after today, I was pretty happy with this card. Other than that, we have Amalia. We should know what that does, and I've talked about the rest. Cavern, main thing. We play a Scoured Barrens. This can obviously combo in here because it'll gain us 1 life and then start to train with all the stuff if we just need to get that life gain in. Or we have the Restless Fortress to attack if it comes down to that. A very expensive way to do it, but a way to do it nevertheless. And outside of that, we just have some other lands in here. So let's go out there. Let's see how many times we can combo. I know very long intro, very new set. Obviously, we have to kind of do that. And there's a lot to explain, especially for new players that might not be aware of how some combos like this work. And it's also infinite, by the way. You cannot stop it. It goes until your opponents die. So yeah, very cool. So outside of that, let's go ahead and let's dive in. I hope you all enjoy the games. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, and let's go out there and see how many times we can truly get this combo to work. Okay, comes first. We keep. We have some vampires. We have a lot of land. We have authority. Might work out. It might not work out. Who really knows? Sweet. Oh, and we draw one of our cut downs. That's pretty sick for us. Cards. New us. New personality. Pretty good match, to be honest. Let's go ahead, and because they're going to be a little bit slower on the uptick because of our authority, let's go ahead and play the Highborn Priest here. Not really going to look to do much with it. Maybe I should have held interaction. But now that enters tapped, and we gain more life. That's 3, which is okay. Yeah, Black Source would have been best to draw. We miss, which is fine. Now we're just in kind of hold territory, it seems. Maybe I just go for the Anoint on the quest caller, but I guess I just wait to see what they do. It's one of my fears, honestly, about putting in too many of these type of cards, and maybe I need to cut the Courtyard because it's not as valuable as maybe it was before. But because if this was a black source, I think the game would be significantly more out of hand. Now we can Anoint this and cut down this, which just seems good. We can also wait, but they have Convoke spells, so I think waiting too long is a bad idea. Get rid of that, and then we just do a little pass here. And if we draw the win condition, we just go right into the priest and right into that. There's Palm Patch. If we're going to target anything, we got to do it now. Card's good, but authority putting in that work, because if they did have a knight, like, they're just unable to do anything about it. Come in, we'll just name Vampire as well. I wish it was like an auto name feature. I know that doesn't exist, but now we have quite the train going on. They play a creature, I gain life, they lose life, and Amalia triggers, and now we're just in super dig mode here. Which is cool, especially against a deck that is super aggressive. Alright, we find a land. Wow, we ain't digging much further than that, I guess. Yeah, keep playing creatures for me, please. I understand these creatures are good, but I need to find my win condition, and right there it is. Alright, well. So we actually win in combat, which is kind of crazy, or if they ever attack me, or ever play a creature. If they play a creature, they lose the game. It's very cool. If a vampire dies, like say my Highborn, I could pay the black, and then they also lose the game. Because I have pay black, if you do, a target player lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. But that's only when a vampire dies. Whenever this creature, another vampire. Sweet. Alright. So this triggers, we gain a life. Priest triggers. Bloodthirsty triggers. And this all happens before Amalia gets to trigger because, like, technically they're all ETBs, but just like that, we win the game off of our opponent playing a creature. I'm glad it worked out the first game because it's never going to work out again, just so we're aware. They said they had enough. Hold on, I have 11 Amalia triggers. I must resolve them. You remember when Play with Fire would hit a player and you'd be dead and it would make your opponent still like scry first before letting you leave the game? It's so annoying. But, hey, we win game one. We're off to the races now. All right, we are first. We can't cast this. We have the combo. I just have to hope to hit lands, I think. I'm willing to take the chance. I guess we don't have the combo in hand, but we have like the higher end piece of the combo. Land. Let's play a case. Also, I guess maybe I should let off a cave just because like the Highborn, but all right. Well, there's the surveil land, so I don't have to hold up interaction against what my opponent's presumably playing. Also, this land, by the way, can actually win us the game if our opponent's unwilling to like put anything in play. We can actually do it without needing this. But I don't think we're gonna necessarily play for that this time. We're just going to anoint this challenger, I think, or play a preacher in front of it. That could also be a thing that we do. Who knows? Our opponent has to hit us for 2 first. I mean, I guess we're gaming, dude. I don't know. Welcome to the new season and another Monterey gamer. I don't know, man. Continuing. I just don't know. Let's play this. And we'll pass. They may or may not come back. I will tune us back in either if they play again or if the game is over. Okay. Well. A thrilling game, too. Alright, we are first. We have some cards. Start off the fortress here. Then we can play like the duo and then try to play Amalia. Looks like red. Interesting. So I'm actually going to opt for the wall here. And we'll hold up Anoint. I have a 0-4 wall, a card. It's new. You're mono red. I know new cards don't come across your like monitor very often. I'm good. And new cards are a little tough. Didn't shoot me, bro. What happened? All right, we go first. Be 1 turn behind on the authority, but we have the barricade. Only down part of playing is tap land. We play it to gain the life if we have the combo in play, but at the end of the day, maybe like having untapped sources might be better. Cut down, huge pickup. Cut down is. Now we just get to kind of wait, see what they go for here, and then just cut down the warrior guard. Or do I just cut down the quest color? I think the quest color is actually a better cut down. I know I end up taking one here, but I mean, I think that's significantly better. And then I'll go for Amalia and get the triggers off of this to make sure we're hitting our land drops. They don't really target us ever, so it's not really a thing that I have a problem with. Amalia is a 2/2. The wall, I guess, technically can barricade. They're going to do nothing. Okay, sweet. Very cool of you, opponent. I like that. Let us just opt for the... I guess... Let's just opt for the combo piece for now. I'll just wait, because if they play a creature, Amalia gets bigger, and they can't do anything with this unless they play a creature. And again, the aggro deck just... like... Now, to be fair, they missed a land, and I assume they missed a green source more than anything. I don't imagine they were mono white. But authority going to... I think we're in a really good spot regardless what happens. If this hits lands, we're just drawing cards. This is going to tap everything and gain us life. They're going to lose a lot of life off of this. And then, like, protect ourselves. Even if they remove this, we have a backup one. And then at one point, we're going to play a case. And then if we draw a white source off of them playing a creature, we play case and the barricade. And then this triggers even more. This is like a very good spot for us. We go first. Again, a turn slow on this card, but it's fine. We'll try. This tap lane's coming to get me, dude. It's coming for me. Alright, well. I guess because they're probably going to be a removal deck regardless. What if we just go for... can go for the bat, I guess, but I think authority might be better. Just to like slowly stall, I guess. They're not gonna have any haze creatures, so authority's significantly worse, but I can still generate value off of it. Play this. Name vampire. Play the case. And let's opt to play this vampire. Could gain more life by letting them kill this, but if it's an anoint, it gets exiled and we gain no life, so it doesn't really do anything. Sure. Oh, I shot the target. Good. Because I don't have the mana, which it skipped right through immediately after, but. Vampire. Let's play a little flying dune here. Now, obviously, this might get smited down, but a land is a good draw, especially if it's untapped, because we get to play this. Oh, that's an interesting situation that happens there with Creature, huh? Alright, well. Go for it. It's uncounterable, but obviously they're going to have removal. Oh, they removed that, which that's not a great sign. That just means they have removal for this as well. Look at them. They're so mean. They're so aggressive about it. Like, you're not resolving anything. We'll say this is so far like the big downside of our deck is just like kind of on like weird situation of lands and stuff. Maybe the Rise Against might not be bad. Like, get this out and just play the 2-mana one. You know what I mean? I have to get rid of this because of the fact that it does blow up our enchantments. Creature can kind of do whatever as long as we're good. But the 4-mana reanimate spell might actually be worth playing. Just like kind of catering to a lot more lower drops. And then there is technically a 2-mana version of this. It's a bat that we can play, and then like instead of this we can play maybe Zoraline. Oh, there's a wall. We're just never gonna draw another land, are we? We're just never gonna find out a land, are we? It's a tough day. Is my authority getting blown up even though it really doesn't do much? My wall? Oh yeah, it's an artifact creature, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, in a tap land we lose. Sure. I feel like we had everything queued up, but like again, just missing out land drop. At 24 lands, that'll happen sometimes, so it's a little tough. I thought he was not a fan of me turning around and just staring at her. See? Right. Oh, I love my dog. I'm ready to get into it. Oh, yeah. I just got back from the gym. I'm replaying some more. Okay. Boros. Sweet. So we get to remove their creature right away. This turns off the sheltered, so we don't have to do. That's pretty nice. Here on Vampire. And I guess like I could go for Barricade, but there's no way to gain life, so this doesn't make too much of a difference, I think. But I'm gonna play it out anyway. My phone. Oh, hello. Oh, it's gone. We'll find it later. I have no idea where it's at. But we play in Amalia, just in case we ever find a way to gain life. They seem to miss a creature here, which is huge. I guess I'll play this down. Have another black. I guess I need to name like Snake, I guess. Which is weird, because they're not countering anything in this match. But we'll play a Blight-Priest. Could have went for the wall, so like target removal in terms of burn isn't available, but regardless, we're in there, we attack. I think they just have like target effects that can either draw cards or maybe like Monstrous Rages that's holding priority. When they do finally play this creature down, it will be threatening, and they concede. All right, cool, very cool. Definitely not a hand to like boast about from us at all. just kind of how fragile the Boros deck can be sometimes and how greedy. Not saying it was super greedy, because obviously if it's just lethal like on turn 2 or 3, you kind of just take that gamble sometimes. But sometimes, I mean, there's really no other term for it. One creature in all your cards is kind of greedy, of course, but like we end up getting there and we win the game. Opponent first, no real removal here. We'll try. If we just get overran, we get overran. It happens. Nothing on turn 1. Another barricade. Barricade's good. It's just a little weird, like in spots like this, where it's like we're on the draw, so it feels a little slow. And we got Reanimator, it seems. I would think it's Reanimator. I actually don't know that for a fact. Play a wall. They can't really target us with anything. They have to remove the barricade first. Then I might just opt for like the Highborn or something. Not really sure. Okay. Life total and total like that doesn't matter to us at all. As weird as that is to say. Sunfall is a possibility. So I guess I go for this. We'll just take a little bit of damage here and it's fine. Pass. Again, this has defender, so there's no like attack options with it. Then we have to watch out for Sunfall next turn. Definitely going to be a case where like kind of have to guard against a lot of things, which with this hand, I think the plan is to play Duo, play Amalia, trigger Amalia, and maybe we can dodge the Sunfall for a turn. Use this Amalia as a card draw. Again, damage-based effects do not work, so it will have to be just like a Sunfall. Which can definitely happen, of course. Anoint can go in the graveyard. Kind of a bad draw into what seems like a nothing situation. See it. Oh, tap land. Temporary lockdown. Okay. Temporary lockdown does it too. Why on some of these decks I'm like excited to play green, because then it'll allow us to do some stuff where we just blow this up on instep and then we get all of our permanents back. Then we can essentially kill them out that way. I take 2. Alright. Fire, I guess. A barricade. And then I can go for the priest. Priest doesn't die here to a temporary lockdown, so I'm not that opposed. Oh, they have a get lost. Okay. Way to not do it on the instep, I guess. Alright, removal. Please stop coming. Well, 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 brother. What do we got? I think picking up that lockdown would be absolutely insane. Looks like they're thinking about it pretty aggressively. Case does set up like the lethal kind of turn, right? That's the weird part. Case good enough here though. Okay. Another one of these. Maybe they'll have another get lost. Here. Here. Torch for this. Maybe another Helix or something. Maybe another one of these. Yeah, my bad, brother. They're just like burn the deck, but they haven't sent really any face because they haven't been able to. Case. You know, honestly, they might have a Saw Blade. I'm not messing around with the Saw Blade. Seem like artifact removal, so I don't really want to mess around with that too much. What's up here, opponent? Oh, you're doing that? Okay. I'm a little under the impression that that seems like a crazy play. Take my, like, 4 Amalia triggers. Fine. That. To find something a little bit more valuable. Second case isn't the worst, but that's pretty good. I mean, obviously this thing's gone, but regardless. Maybe it's land Sunfall, who knows? Yeah. Get Lost is not in the cards for me right now. Play this. Sure, oh sure, oh sure. I have another barricade, which is pretty sick. It's like a saw blade isn't gonna do it. Attack. Doing the lockdown plan again. They do that. They actually lose the game. Oh no. The return immediately? So their active trigger goes on the stack, but then mine happens first. You just die? Is there a reason we did this? Oh yeah, I understand you're there, brother. Relax, okay? I guess whenever your opponent, oh, I don't have a way to make him lose life. This is the wrong one. Sure. All right. Maybe they're not dead. I don't know. I thought maybe they were dead. I was so confused. Okay. Yeah, the most interesting game I think I've ever seen in my entire life happening right now. Yeah. I don't know how I'm being timed, brother. Yes. 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 I don't have a drainer in play or I could just win. Sure. The damage doesn't happen. I have 2 walls. Apparently Amalia has a chance to blow everything up, which is interesting. Uh-huh. Yes. Oh boy. Yeah, no, I have the combo. I feel like I can't win that game ever unless that happens. Like, what? I literally got stun locked. I didn't even know what to say anymore. I was just kind of watching my opponent do their thing and just being like, hey man, I have lethal on top. I don't know what's going on. But bro, with that said, I gotta call it on that one. Yeah, so this deck struggles from the same problem that I think decks like this often struggle from. And it's just like a matter of card draw kind of engine, or like once we play it out, we're done. I think there's a couple of cards that we can maybe add and try out. I didn't really want to do it today because like I think there's a lot of new cards. So like, for Raise the Past seems like a good option that we can potentially add. Let me just throw it in here real quick. Raise the Past seems like a good option because it can return all creatures with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, which also, just another note, before I get anywhere. It lost. Or anybody freaks out that I could have blown up the temporary lockdown. I did not put them in the deck. Card's typically bad. But obviously I'm one over here because of Raise the Past. But this card can be very good in our deck. And the reason why, because of course we're playing vampires and we have this. The idea of playing Cavern and having a lot of vampires you can resolve feels really nice. But there is a bat that does the same thing. It cannot block. It is black and hue. I do not remember what it is. Not go too fast. There it is. So this card, please go where I put you. This card does the exact same thing as kind of our 3 mana one does. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. It says whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, and it's also cheaper with Offspring, so it's probably just a better option in general. This is one of the things where it's like, hey, there's a new card, let's try it out. But me personally, I think this is better. And this also allows us to get to the point that we play Zorline, so we can add in like that. So we can start adding cards like this in. So we're really getting back to kind of that old Orzhov build where we maybe have these and we maybe have deep Cavern Bats, stuff like that. And having a barricade with like deep Cavern Bats seems really good. You get off of this vampire shenanigans a bit. This card's cool. I just think this might be the wrong build for it. I think this is more of just like an aggro card. So immediately, like, if we're talking cuts and adds almost immediately, I'll just put 1 over there for now and just cut all of the other 3. I would just be like 4 here. Put these in here. I'd probably go to deep Cavern Bat and put in 4 of these. And the reason why is instead, this can be up here too, and maybe we're on 2 of these or something. But then we can go and we can put this in the side and maybe cut these or something. And the reason why is because the Raise the Past, a lot of times we're running against a lot of creature removal. That's going to happen, especially when you're in a combo deck, so cut downs, go for the throats, etc., right? We're good against the burn type decks that can't really do anything because of walls and 0-4. But when they remove everything, these all go to the graveyard. With something like a Raise the Past, a new card, return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If we have this ready to go, we can just get an insane amount of value out of it anyway, especially whenever you have something like, say we have a case in play still, and then we have a duo, we have this in play. All the life gain triggers from those happen individually, so Starscape Cleric also sees them all individually, and there it does all the draining and gaining that way. So oftentimes we might be able to cast a Raise the Past and bring back a lot of this kind of combination here, and then just be able to gain a ton of life if need be, if Screaming Nemesis hasn't really got us, but that's kind of what this wall is for, because Screaming Nemesis can't really do anything about it. But we can gain an immense amount of life right away. A card that I like, but maybe is a little too cute in this deck, is Authority of the Council. This card is going to be very good when you're on the play against like mono red aggro, especially because we don't get to play a ton of removal. But if we remove this out, maybe we are a bit more on removal, but this is a way to gain life for your opponent's stuff coming in. And against like the very first matchup where we saw the rabbits putting in a ton of stuff, you turn off like the Night Errant of Eoses and things like that, so they're not able to crush them out, or any haste creatures in general, just enter tapped, and that's obviously very enjoyable. But with that said, deck's very cool. I like it a lot. I do think it needs a lot of work. If anybody has any advice, I would gladly take it. But with that said, is where I'm going to end up, a little bit over on cards. But outside that, it was super fun, super enjoyable. I'm excited for Foundations. I hope all you are as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.